Good morning. It is Sunday, March 7th, 1:16 in the morning. I just got home. From TJ. What a day. What a day. And I I didn't want to go to bed without recording what happened because it was a lot. Where do I start? Okay, the night before. Friday night. So, Friday night, I'm packing up the rest of the stuff. And I mentioned I'm on Bumble now. So this new person, we've been texting back and forth and, said really nice things. And then he says, he calls me Miss Yubi. So Miss Yubi, that he'd like to take me out to coffee, dinner, or a hike this weekend. And I'm in the middle of packing, so I had to put it aside. But I saw the message and I'm chewing on it, packing. So my brother offered for me to spend the night there so I can park the car inside, already packed, so I don't have to wake up, because these first two trips, I was waking up like at 4 or 5 in the morning, getting ready, and loading the car by myself. Really, loading the car by myself. Because I live in an apartment complex, park the car away, I don't have my own parking spot. And someone had already tried to break into my car. So I wasn't going to leave the car full overnight. So I was like, okay, it's my last trip. Yeah. I'm working on allowing and being able to accept, right? When people give me things. So I'm like, okay, it's a good idea, Don't wake up early. I could leave the car already packed, And my mom came with me. She came with me the first time. And she came with me this time again. And so she's there and getting ready to go to bed. And I'm looking at this message, right? So I'm honest, and I'm like, hey, you know what? Thank you. Yeah. But this weekend I'm going to TJ, try to finish up some, donation efforts, and next weekend is my niece's birthday, and trying to meet my brother halfway. He's more cautious about the whole COVID, so I really want to quarantine at least a week, and how about the weekend after that? So in 3 Saturdays. And then he responds, says something really nice, because I'm doing donation efforts, and I'm sitting within. There's something, there's just something that's like doing that to me. I end up crying myself to sleep. Wake up, take my time, get ready. Don't have to pack the car in the morning, which is nice. So we get a later head start than what we're used to. So of course, the line is longer to cross. So from the US, this is not even including the fact that I made the conscious effort, like, I'm going to do things the right way, right? I'm not going to get dinged again. I pulled the car by the time I got to that part to be able to pull the car, it was like good 2.5 hours of being in line just to cross to TJ. Not counting the time that I pulled over into the area where you declare your items. So I declared my items, hell of a lot cheaper, like 3 times less cheaper. Declared my items, paid my tax, get back in line. As soon as I cross, the guy's trying to pull me over again. Thank God I paid for it. And thank God I paid for it, because I showed him my my receipt, and he looked at the time because it seemed like he was gonna hassle me because it was folded and I got all, I got it all messy and just, trying to stuff it in here so it didn't look like it just came out. But he saw the timestamp. He's like, okay. It's like, right? Thank God I did it the right way. Cross. So I'm getting there later. I'm late now, right? And we get to my aunt's house, and she's giving us breakfast, and everyone else already ate, and decided that I was going to show up to where I was going to hand out stuff a little later, because the first time we went a little too early, not a lot of people showed up. The second time more people came because we came a little later. So this third time I was like, okay, I'm gonna push it even more later, closer to the time when because the deputy is gonna come back, because I know there's gonna be more people at that time when the deputy shows up. And that way we can finish right before they start their powwow. So everything was being pushed, right? Delayed. So we finish, giving out the clothes. And the deputy shows up, and more people show up. I don't know, but they look all professional. And all of a sudden, I realize I'm blocked in, and there's no other way because I'm right next to where everything's caving in, which looks completely worse. Like everything caved in a lot more. They're expecting rain this week, so I don't think my grandmother's house is gonna survive the rains this week. So yeah, everything was sinking in a lot more. So I'm at the edge. I'm like, great, I'm gonna have to stick it out for when they're done waiting. So I'm waiting, getting dark and cold. And a lot of conversations, a lot of mingling. Finally able to get out. So we get in line. I didn't take any snacks this time. I'm like, I am not getting pulled over. So I'm not taking any apples, no orange, nothing. I didn't take anything. So my mom and I were hungry. We were hungry. And then, so, because everything was getting pushed, waiting, the line just to cross over. It was a good 3 hours. Good 3 hours of waiting in line. My mom had to go to the restroom. I felt really bad. I was trying to help her out. I'm like, oh, go, there's restrooms there. No, it's dirty, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, then you wait, right? We were talking about how we were hungry. We didn't take any snacks. We didn't want to eat any, bad foods because we had already eaten. I had, sopes, tortillas, and they really messed with my stomach. And my mom had a lot of bread. And, we're both kind of lactose and stuff. And so, I was like, oh, I don't want that. And my mom's like, well, when we cross the border, I'll invite you. I'll invite you to eat. How about we eat In-N-Out? So I was just like, I haven't eaten red meat in a while. And then I'm like, well, she's inviting, right? I'm like, okay, she's inviting. Okay, if she wants In-N-Out, she wants In-N-Out. And I'm like, but Mom, we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait for In-N-Out. More waiting. She wants In-N-Out. I'm like, okay. Right? My mom hardly eats red meat too. So it's like, okay, we'll figure it out, right? As we're waiting to cross from Mexico to US, I come right behind a freaking truck. A freaking truck that's a little too familiar for me. And I'm just trying to ignore it, right? Trying to look away, trying to be playful with my mom, right? Trying to keep it light, dancing in the car to pass the time. And I feel it. I just feel it. And then there's a brief opening because it was 2 lanes. The way we were going out. And then my mom's like, quick, go in this way. And I'm like, thank God. So I move over to the other lane. We're both thinking it's going to be quicker. Nope. But I was grateful, nonetheless, just to not be behind this truck. And I told her, I'm like, I couldn't handle it. I was about to explode. I was like, I couldn't handle being around that truck, behind the truck. And And she's like, well, you know, we're on this lane. Maybe it'll go faster. No. A lot slower. A lot slower. Con ganas slower. And I was like, okay. What's the lesson, Yubi? What's the lesson, right? This waiting. I'm like, try and think. I'm like, is it freaking waiting? Is that what the lesson is? So we finally cross. We get to the gas station because I knew the left, and the gas pump's not working. So I'm like freaking waiting in the car because my mom went to go pay cash because the card didn't work. So, and then she had to go to the restroom. So then I was like, and then I didn't see the, you know, sometimes when you pay cash, it'll change to the amount that you, or it'll do something to let you know. I was waiting for her. I'm like, maybe she went to the restroom first. She's like, you're waiting this whole time. I'm like, yeah. Putting the gas thing's not working, so I'm waiting for that to get fixed. Like, waiting. This theme of waiting. Okay. All right. God, hear you loud and clear. Waiting. We get to In-N-Out. Waiting. And while I'm not In-N-Out. So we're eating, and then my mom and I start having this conversation, and then it starts coming back to me. Like certain conversations during the day. It's all the freaking lessons. All my freaking lessons being played out with other people, and I'm seeing it. I'm like, disillusionment, no follow through, right? Broken promises, more waiting, because, you know, my cousins are on the title of the home, so they're being put on a wait list, right? There was this disillusionment of you know, what could have potentially happened. There's you know, loss in terms of expectations on someone, right? Like my cousin having expectations on my uncle to be able to provide like nurturing, blah blah blah, and then my mom's talking about cycles and breaking cycles. And I mean, it's just being spit out all freaking over. And so I'm like, and then the conversation we were having too, right? About love, unconditional love. We were talking about unconditional love, loyalty, and justice. So I was just like, this all the lessons, right? All the lessons being played out, just not in me, but with other people. And then this overarching theme of waiting. So I'm like, okay, well, what's the message, right? Because I didn't meditate this morning. What's the message? And I'm driving home. And this time I am taking the fight, right? So we're both knowingly. She was the one that came with me, you know, when I saw the beach, and I got so excited. She's like, why are we seeing the beach? We should not be seeing the beach. That was my mom. So then this time I have Shuffle on Pandora on, and it's this slow paced music, which I'm appreciating because I'm thinking, right? I'm trying to solve this puzzle. And she's like, oh, cámbiale, and then change it. I'm falling asleep, and I'm just like, no, Mom, it's good, it's okay, you know, I got this. And like, it's making me think. She's like, oh no. She's like, oh no, not making me think. You get dangerous when you're thinking of them. Starting laughing. I'm like, what are you talking? She's saying all this in Spanish. She's like, ay no, me das miedo cuando piensas. And I'm just like, why? And she's like, because you're all over the place when you think, and you're not grounded, and you're just so flighty. And she's saying all this in Spanish, and I'm just laughing. I'm like, all right. So I change it up, and I'm dancing, right? Just trying to keep the light up, but I'm still thinking, right? And then I catch myself when the song slowed down, still thinking, trying to figure out this damn pattern. And I'm like, okay, and I think that's when I picked up the pattern of like my life lessons being repeated. Okay, clearly, right, this overarching theme of waiting. And I tear up a little bit. Because I'm thinking, right, and I'm feeling, I'm allowing myself to feel. And the songs weren't helping. And allowing myself to feel a little bit. And my mom saw it. It was cheerful, and she's not much for emotion, so she's trying to make me laugh. I drop my mom off, and I get back in the car. And my sister, you know, she lives with my sister, so my sister's just like, you want to spend the night? That way you don't have to drive home. By this time I was like close to like 10:30, something 11. No, it's okay, I'll go home. I get back on the freeway, I'm like freaking 3 exits away. 3 exits away. And they're freaking closing the freeway. So I'm stuck on the freeway. It's taking me close to 2 hours to get off the freeway. Like, okay, more waiting. All right, God, what are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me? I'm thinking. And the songs. And I'm like, okay. All right, God, I'll be honest with myself. Be honest with myself. I cheer up some more. I'm like, all right, clearly. And then I'm reflecting, right, on the triggers. I wasn't thinking about the triggers, but I started thinking about the triggers. Being asked out. Crying myself to sleep. Couldn't really be behind this truck. This was triggering me. I'm like, okay. Clearly I'm being triggered. Clearly. Clearly. I'm not ready to move on. Clearly. You know. And then I surrender. While I'm stuck in the freeway, 3 exits away from coming home, I surrender it all to God. I'm like, all right, God. Clearly I'm not ready. I surrender my heart. I surrender my heart to either you freaking healing my heart or you giving me a freaking miracle. Because it's clear I can't move on. I can't move on. Even though the advice, right, is to move on. At the end of the day, I'm gonna listen to my heart. I'm gonna listen to my heart. So, I'm not done healing. Or God, you give me a miracle. And I know both are gonna require time. Which means waiting. This theme of waiting. Okay, God, all right. Surrender. And then once I'm honest with myself about where I'm at, I feel good. Like I feel aligned. So just like that, just as quick as I logged on to Bumble, just like that, I'm logging off. So I'm gonna let this guy know that I'm not ready. But, you know, he gave me his number. I can give him my number. Doesn't mean we can't talk, right? I just need time. Who knows? I clearly need time. And then I thought about it. I'm like, I didn't even last the whole week on Bumble. so I'm like, how long did I last? So I'm looking at, because I posted on it. So I'm looking at my post. 3 days. 3 days ago, I posted it. 3 days ago. I'm like, I didn't even last 3 days. And then I was reminded of the time when I'm an Android girl. I am. And we're not reminded of the time where I tried the Apple phone for 3 days. I tried it, right? Because everyone was like, oh, Apple phone, so easy, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try it, right? After the third, I had to give it back. After the 3rd day, I'm like, I can't. And the guy was looking at me crazy. He's like, it's the easiest thing to use. I'm all, nope. Doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't have a backspace button. And I can't figure it out. And he's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I was like, I can't. I tried. 3 days, I tried. I can't figure it out. So I gave the iPhone back. I mean, it took me a long time to get rid of my BlackBerry. So, yeah, just like that, I'm off of Bumble. Because I'm not ready. I need time to heal. Or I need a freaking miracle. I'm trying to think if that was all in terms of the themes, the pattern, the lesson for today. Lessons that kept repeating. Yeah. That's what happened today. Yesterday, actually. Technically, yesterday. Saturday. Through today, Sunday. So, yeah. Just want to share on that. Before I forget. So, I'm going to try to go to bed. I have a Zoom meeting tomorrow, Sunday. And I'm going to work on self-care. On a good note, I had fun in the car dancing throughout the free time. And it was nice to come home to a clean house. It was nice to come home to a clean house. And everyone's so grateful. If you guys are watching this, they're so grateful. So grateful. So grateful. So thank you to all of you who helped. Really appreciate you guys. You guys have a good one. Hi. My name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us in whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me.